Hey everybody, and welcome to my 15 minutes live. Just get this out of the way. So imagine this valley. So imagine standing on a hill, or I think a mountain is a bit too high. Let's say in between a hill and a mountain, you're standing on this hill, mountain, and you're looking down into this valley. And it's beautiful. There's a river running down through the valley, and there's like beautiful plains of grass, and there's like butterflies, and there's birds chirping, and deer or springbok, whatever it might be, buffalo, zebra, whatever. So they come to this river and they drink from the water, and it's crystal clear water and beautiful rocks that has been shaped over the years as the water has flown over it. So that flow of the water has polished the rocks, and they're nice and round, and they're smooth and a beautiful shape. And if you look into the water, it's like crystal clear, and you can see like fish swimming, and they come to the edge and they visit onto the edge, and then they quickly disappear. And it's just an awesome view. It's a beautiful area, and it's probably an area that has never been visited by men. It's like no human being has ever been there. Everything you see there has been shaped by nature. It's like nature has formed itself. The trees, the grass, the plains, the animals, the shape of the river, everything has shaped itself, or nature has shaped itself. No human intervention. And it's beautiful, and it's perfect. And it's in harmony. Everything that lives there, every creature, from the worms to the birds to the butterflies to the animals to the fish, the trees, the plants, the flowers, beautiful flowers, small, blue, red, yellow, green, flowers all over the place. And the prairies, the grass, everything is perfect, and it's a perfect picture. You guys have probably seen a picture like this somewhere in someone's house. I know in the olden days they used to have these portraits of these beautiful valleys. But this valley is uninhabited by humans. And since the beginning of life on earth, no human has ever put foot onto this valley. It is undisturbed. It is in harmony. It is nature at its best. And this is how this valley looks. And you can't imagine that a place this beautiful exists. And then you hear a bell, or not a bell, more like steel pots, or cast iron pots, or steel pots, or copper pots knocking against each other, like a clunking sound, a clink, 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 clink sound. And you hear the sound in the distance. And the sound comes closer to the valley, and just picture the camera. You have the camera on this valley, and you hear this clunking sound. And the camera shifts towards the hill or the mountain, and there's a little pass that opens up in this hill or mountain, and in that pass you see this human being walking with a horse, and the person's not on the horse. They're walking next to the horse. They're leading the horse into this pass. And it's not a man-made pass. It's just an opening into this hill or this mountain. And this person comes, and as they enter into that pass, they overlook this valley and they have this view. This person's leading this horse, and on the horse you've got these pots hanging, you've got a shovel, you've got a hammer, that hammer that's got a flat edge on the one side and it's got a bit of a sharp edge, a curving sharp edge on the one side. I guess they use that hammers to break rock. And there's a shovel, there's a pick on there, and there's a shotgun on the horse, pots and pans, and there's a roll of sheet, probably a tent. And this guy is dressed up he's got a leather hat on, a beard, a wrinkled face, like an old man, probably in his 60s. Wrinkled face, and you can see this person has been in the sun too long because the face is wrinkled and the person is burned, a very dark tan burn, and red hair, red beard, and you can see this person has never cut their hair or they've never shaved their beard, and they lead this horse into the valley. And this person is got a leather coat on, but not a coat that's almost like a blanket made from an animal's skin. And this person has got pants with safari boots on, or felt schooner. And this person has got leather belts across, and leather belts with a gun that is holstered, a pistol, holstered pistol, and this person approaches this valley. And the person stops, and they overlook the valley, and this person admires the valley for a second or two. And all the animals in the valley are very aware of this human being approaching. And as the person makes their way down the valley, the animal starts scattering. And they feel disturbed. They've never seen this image before. They've never seen this before. And they are disturbed, and they start scattering. And this person makes his way into the valley, leading the horse into the valley. So the person gets into the valley, and they start unpacking. And they start loading things from the horse and throwing it on the ground. And the person takes his I call it a digger. It's a piece of wood, and then it's got a metal piece, like a flat metal piece that you use to dig into the ground. And this person immediately starts digging into the ground, and this person removes patches of lawn or grass just on the bank of the river, and he starts digging, and immediately this person starts messing up the place, if you think about it that way. And he starts digging, and he removes patches of grass, and he starts a camp, and he starts a fire just on the bank of the river where the grass has been removed. And the person walks and picks up dry sticks and wood, and they start a fire, and they put up 2 poles, and they throw their tent, and they set up a camp into this valley. And the person's presence disturbs the entire equilibrium of this valley, just the presence. So animals don't want to come to the river anymore because they are unsure about this person, and this person starts to camp onto this riverbank and onto this valley. And the person camps for a couple of days, and the person's out hunting, and the person shoots at birds, and the person shoots at rabbits, and hunts deer, and takes eggs from the bird's nest, because they need to survive. And it's a steel cup and coffee, and that's how it goes. So the one morning, this person breaks eggs in the pan and fries eggs and makes and eats from the pan and drinks coffee. And after having breakfast, the person starts getting dressed. So the person puts on this, don't know if you call it an overall, but what do you call this with the straps? But anyway, it's got straps around here, and then it's got the pants going down, but the pants is like loose over here. And the person puts on these gum boots, these high boots, rubber boots. And from the way the person is dressed with the hat and the boots and this outfit, it becomes clear that this person is a prospector. And the person picks up this pan, slightly bigger than a dinner plate, this pan, like a metal pan, and the person starts walking into the river. And into the river, the person starts digging into the bank of the river, and he starts shaking the deposits in the pan. And in there you have sand and you have rock and whatever starts, and he filters and he filters and he throws it out. And so it goes on for days, and the person starts digging in the water, and he filters the deposits in his pan. And it goes on for a number of days, and the person moves further down the river, until one day the person digs and he filters on his pan, and he puts some water filters and he lets some of the sand out, and he sees a few deposits of gold. And as the light shines onto the pan, you can actually see how the flakes of the gold shines into the pan. And this person smiles, and the teeth is rotten and brown, and the person is just dirty in the hands. The nails are broken and the nails are dirty, but he starts celebrating and he starts doing his money dance because he sees a bit of gold deposits or gold flakes into his pan. Just a few, nothing of commercial value, just a few gold deposits. But he celebrates because he probably knows more than what we know. And at that spot where this person finds these gold deposits or these gold flakes, the person hits a stake onto the riverbank to mark the spot. And days go by, 2-3 weeks go by, and the person starts digging from that spot inward, from the riverbank inward into the land. And the person starts digging on the one side, and he moves 5 steps to the left, and he starts digging, and he just digs a whole lot of holes on the riverbank. And for this whole 3-4 weeks that person is busy there, no animal has visited the river. But anyway, this person continues to dig, and he digs and he shovels and he shovels, and he digs holes as deep as 6 feet deep, and until he hits a certain spot, and he celebrates, yes, because at that spot he finds a bit of a bigger deposit of gold. We can probably call it a nugget. He finds nugget pieces of gold, and he hits a stake into that spot, and he follows a trail inland. You can possibly call it a reef. And as he follows this reef and he digs deeper and digs, and he finds bigger chunks of gold, until he gets to a spot, and he's 6 feet deep, and he's probably 30 footsteps away from the water, and he's in this hole, and he hits onto this rock, and he hits onto this rock, and he hits onto this rock, and finally he gives the rock a blow, and the rock breaks. And in the rock you can see the gold, how the gold is embroidered into this rock, and he finds a big chunk of rock, with gold in it. And this person has finally found his gold reef. And he hits into this rock, and he finds bigger pieces of gold. So this gold reef has probably been formed. If you think about how if a volcano erupts and the lava flows, and possibly in my mind I'm thinking this is how a gold reef is formed, and the lava flows and everything flows. I mean every liquid that flows onto land uh, uh, creates erosion, and it flows towards a river. If snow melts onto a mountain, it forms a river and it flows into a larger river that flows into the ocean. So this volcano eruption, if we can say that, and the lava has been flowing and it has formed this reef, and as it has reached the river, it turned from its liquid form into a solid form. And then it just stayed there for years and thousands of years, and it finally it's created this reef of gold. And this person has found this reef, and he knocks and he knocks and he knocks, and he has a whole lot of chunks, and he just knocks pieces off of this rock, enough for him to load onto his horse so that he can take it and sell it, or possibly show it to someone so that they can come and mine over here. But as he's knocking and he's looking and he's happy and he's gathering, he's cleaning out this rock so that he only has these gold pieces. And as he does this, remember he's 6 feet under the ground, so his head is above, the ground is above his head, he's in this hole. And as he cleans out this rock so that he can load these gold nuggets or gold pieces onto his horse, he's busy and he sees a shadow over him, and he freezes. Boom! He feels a sharp pain in his jaw. It's like when someone hits you with a baseball bat onto your jaw. He feels a sharp blow onto his jaw, and a zing sound into his ear, and a sharp pain that shoots up from the back of his neck into his skull. And this blow disorientates him, and he falls onto the floor, and it takes him a couple of seconds to realize what has happened, because he doesn't understand, his brain can't process what has happened. And then he lays there into this pain, but his determination tells him to turn onto his back so that he can look up out of this hole to see what has struck him. And as he turns and he looks outside of the hole, he sees this figure of a man all in black. And as he looks up to this figure, he hears two more shots, pa, pa, and it strikes him into his chest. And finally he lays there hopeless, and he realizes that he doesn't have the strength, the energy, and he's so badly hurt that he cannot fight this figure of a man. He doesn't have his pistol with him because he's working, he's digging, and he's been shot. In his jaw, and he just had 2 more bullets in his chest. And this person stands on top, on land, and he fires the shots into his chest. And the prospector makes peace, and he lets go of all ambition, and he lays there and he puts his head down and he thinks to himself, let me rest, let me find peace, and let me pass. And this person stands on top with the gun or the pistol in the hand, and there's still smoke coming out from the barrel. And he watches as the life of the prospector passes by. And the prospector gives a few coughs, and blood comes from the mouth, and he starts choking on his own blood. And he finally passes away. Sure, that's 5 minutes over my time. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That's the end of the story. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.